G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. We are here on the brand new expansion for Age of Empires 4. This is the Sultan's Ascend. The map, of course, Himiyama, one of the brand new maps. And it looks like we might be on the Savannah biome today. So, without further ado, let's get to it and introduce our players for today. In the west of the map, spawning in the color purple, playing as the Japanese, we've got Garneth. And on the east side of the map, in the color pink, playing as Jeanne d'Arc, we've got Corvinus 1. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a casted game. It is a pleasure to be able to bring this game to you. Now, for anybody unfamiliar with these players, 3D Garneth is in the same clan, the same guild, the same, I guess you could call it a clan, as B. So he's a pretty good player. Conqueror 3, definitely a solid player. Corvinus, if you're unfamiliar with this guy, maybe you're familiar with some of his other names, including the Wallalol God, Salami. That's pretty much it. That's what he's known as. But what's interesting to see is that already Garneth is killing wolves. So looking to somewhat take away the bounty, I don't know, experience. Experience is the correct term. Looking to take away some of the experience from Jeanne d'Arc, which is a pretty smart move because this is the same sort of theory that was put out there. When you're up against the Rus, you want to try and deny hunts, you want to try and deny any kind of bounty that civilization can pick up. And it's the same here, where you're denying experience away from Jeanne d'Arc so that she's not able to pick up that experience and head towards level 3. Because if she gets to level 3, you're going to be in a bit of a problem. For anybody unfamiliar with the way that this civilization works, you've got a hero unit. Her name's Jeanne d'Arc, and she is a peasant currently. But as the game goes on, she will level up. She starts out at level 1. Level 2, you can pick. Do you want an archer? Do you want a little swordswoman? And then level 3, that's when the fun really starts to happen because she gets a cavalry unit, or she becomes a cavalry unit, and she's able to spawn units. She also becomes a massive bullet sponge as well. And that's always something you've got to be very careful about playing up against, but we do now start to see the School of Cavalry going to come down. And you can see how Corvinus is just looking to focus on building the landmark with Jeanne d'Arc. And the reason why is because she builds things faster, so you're not losing out on, say, another villager coming in and helping out. So, you know, she can build things faster. But on top of that, she also gains more experience. Now, we won't be able to track her experience. We can just kind of recognize the timing. So you can expect things like her second level to come through between 4 and 5 minutes normally. Sometimes it can be a little bit later than that, depending on how aggressive you are. But what's interesting is that Garneth has actually gone for water. Not common that you see players on this map look to take advantage of the water, but early on it makes total sense for the Japanese. Avoiding going into any kind of secondary town center strategy. As I say that, we see that he's got 5 villages on stone, and they've only 6 villages now on stone, and they've only just collected it. So I actually love this perspective that the Japanese players are beginning to have, that instead of going for the gold, you know what, I'm just going to go and I'm going to grab a whole bunch of stone and utilize that. Now, what's interesting as well, and I've actually done some timings on this for anybody who has watched the video where I did the guide for the Japanese 2TC, Don Artie actually messaged me. He's like, hey, Drongo, I don't know if you know this, but you can get 350 stone, and then you can just grab like 30 gold, and you can age up much faster. And at first I was a little bit apprehensive about it, but then I actually went into a game and did it. And he's not kidding. It's like 15 to 20 seconds faster to do that. So keep that in mind, that you got a lot of villagers here. 14 villagers on stone. How many villagers would you like on stone? And Garneth in the Dark Age has just said yes. Have you ever seen this many villagers in the Dark Age on stone? That's a lot. That's a lot. He's trying to rush it up there. You can see he's going pretty hard. And now he's going to throw down that town center upgrade, the Daimyo Manor. He's got enough resources in the bank to go for the age up when it comes to the food. But it's just going to be that gold that he's lacking, and that's why he's got so many villagers here on stone. But expect him to drop down that landmark very, very soon. I suspect he's probably going to go right here. This is a nice little spot. Alternatively, yeah, you probably do there. Maybe out over on this west side, but we've got ourselves a scout coming out already. Daimyo Manor is complete. And now looking to throw down that Kura storehouse. Beautiful little spot that he's got for it. Second town center. Where is he going to put that, though? That's the question I want to ask. Where is he going to put down that second TC? I guess you could probably throw it back here. This isn't a bad spot, actually, because it still kind of covers the gold vein here. Now, I'm just going to give you guys a heads up. At the moment in Melbourne, it's raining. It's beautiful. I love the rain. For anybody who doesn't know, I'll just give you a little bit of insight about my my history. When I was a young boy, my father... no, I'm just kidding. When I was a young kid, I used to love playing my Nintendo 64, but my mum would always tell me, stop playing the Nintendo, go outside and kick a football. And it got to the point where she would just turn it off and I couldn't play. When it was raining, however, she couldn't. She'd just be like, oh, it's raining, he can stay inside and play. So I kind of felt like I've got this little bit of a safety net when it's raining. I don't have to worry about my mum pressuring me not to play video games, and that's why I started loving the rain as a kid, and I think that's just kind of carried over into my adulthood. Anyway, I've got it's raining here. I've got a sliding door in my studio, and it's all the way open at the moment. So if I get up for a couple of seconds, it's because the rain might be starting to hit the carpet. But anyway, looks like Joan is now aged up. Of course, Corvinus has gone to the second age, and we see that 50 experience now going to be coming through for Jeanne d'Arc, sorry. Still trying to get that pronunciation perfect. The age up for Garneth comes through a little bit before 6 minutes, so definitely on the later side here. But you can see that Corvinus is trying his best to prevent any further gathering of the fish, and he's going to have a pretty decent job here. I think this has been completely shut down. There's not much more you can really have at this point. And you can see... Oh no, okay, never mind. He did go for the woman at arms. I thought it was an archer, the way that that Joan was positioned right there, but I guess not. But the center's definitely going to be shut down. Garneth's going to have to head into that second town center and have a look at these walls behind his base. These are really interesting. I have not seen anything like this before, but I got to be honest, I'm loving this. This is so smart, so well positioned. It looked like he was going to go on the gold. Has he changed his mind? Is he going to go down towards this south side instead? It's a beautiful little back pocket he's got here, but he's got to be careful. There are knights out on the field. Does he spot this? Oh, you can see it's such a tiny little line right here that Corvinus somehow... Oh, there's a villager. There was a villager. 5 experience going over to Joan. Town center is coming up. What does Corvinus see? He does not see that second TC. I tell you what, it would be absolutely terrible if he did, though, because this is going to take some time to get up here. So about the 7-minute mark, not too bad. And I'm curious how you guys feel about this water opening on a map like this, because, look, don't get me wrong. I think that a water opening on a map that's got a little bit of fish definitely makes sense. But my question is it really worth delaying the town center? Like, when you're thinking about a town center that's now maybe 90 seconds to 100 seconds late, that's 5 villages that you're missing out on that you could have had. And to me, it just feels like the game, it's just not there. I mean, I can see it from the fishing perspective, but when you compromise going for that second TC and the timing that you've got, then that's the part that hurts the most. But speaking of hurt, let's check in with Corvinus and see how he's doing as the archery range is beginning to come up as well. 2 archers in queue. Now, my suspicion is that Corvinus is going to try and keep Garneth in the feudal age as long as he possibly can. The idea is that you want to try and take advantage of level 3 Joan and then keep trying to level her up as much as you possibly can while you're in the feudal age. So I reckon he's going to try and put pressure on here while making sure that his opponent doesn't really have an opportunity to go castle. We can see at the moment that Garneth is doing a pretty decent job. One thing to note, though, is he's not on farms, and I'd love to see him on the farms just because he does have that bonus percentage, and on top of that, it's infinite, so it's always nice. The best way to think about it is, if you look right here under the TC, and we do a Control-Shift-A, he's got 7 sheep carcasses, 4 herdable sheep, which means that there's probably somewhere in the region of 2,000 to 3,000 food that's sitting under that town center. However, you can reduce how much you're taking if you just move those villagers over onto the farms. But we do see now he's going to begin moving over some wood villagers onto those farms. Looks like he may have already chopped through over on this position. And we see a 3rd stable coming up. This is a lot of horsemen out already. The Uma Benaman is going to be on the field here as well. Looking to try and get out some early damage against these units. May struggle. The demo ship, though, comes in. Nice explosion. Oh, I love that Joan gets experience from that as well. All right, well, the archers... unfortunately, going to cop a couple of bad hits right here, and Garneth playing a very strong opening into cavalry here. At the same time, we start to see upgrades on the way through. He's looking to pick up Takazuki, the level 2, the level 2 wheelbarrow upgrade, and now Joan doing a little bit of spin to win. I think she might be going the way of the dodo here. You can see that surround. He's trying his best to get her through. He's got access to Holy Wrath once again. Might need to throw that Consecrate out before you die, because if I remember correctly, if you die, you'd lose access to all of your skills. So you just want to get that bad boy down as quickly as you can into something. But making his way towards the town center, it looks like a little bit of a survive coming in. Then the heal! I totally forgot about the heal. Oh, it was beautifully baited right there by Corvinus. I did not expect that. You could see that he was really committing, Garneth was, because he thought, I'm going to be able to take out Joan right here, but he was holding the heal the whole time. Oh, and it's so smart as well. He left it right until until the last second to use that heal. That way he can maximize the efficiency of it, get that extra 30%. Now you can see Joan coming through, and I tell you what, man, watching Joan, it just makes me so angry. Oh, dude, I tell you what, I've played, I don't know if you guys copped it or saw the game that I played where Beastie casted it. If you haven't already, make sure you go check out his channel. It's the video that's got my thumbnail on it. Go watch it, but essentially the opponent I'm playing against is Joan, and she gets level 3 right as I'm about to kill her and then just runs away. I'm like, man, that was so painful. But let's check in with Garneth and see how he's doing, as he's now added in a barracks. I'm expecting some Onabagashia to be arriving on the scene shortly. You can see the farm numbers are starting to build here. That second TC is powerful and just pumping out those villager numbers, and we can see right now that even despite that, the numbers are still looking pretty good. He's trying once again to take out Joan. Joan does not have access to that heal. She's just running around in circles, trying her best. She's going to pop that AoE spell once again, but I think she will go down. Indeed, she does. And Garneth will be very happy. If you can take out Joan early, you're going to delay that level 3, and that's the most important thing. You delay that level 3, and what that means is that you're going to be able to hopefully get out of the feudal age. Because the problem is, if you get caught in the feudal age, and your opponent does manage to get Joan level 3, there's not a lot of ways that you can kill her. She's got access to some incredible abilities. Things like the massive heal. So if she ever gets low, you're always going to be able to heal up and top yourself off. She's already back out, by the way. Number 2 is her ability to summon units. Normally the men-at-arms is what we see. And then finally, the fact that she is very difficult to kill because she has a bonus damage reduction. It's 50% damage reduction at level 3, if I remember correctly. But now demo ship comes out, just kind of chills out for the moment. Don't mind me, I'm just a nice little demo ship here. Archers slowly taking it, trying their best to take it out. He's running away with Joan, and unfortunately not a lot of damage happens. Still working towards that, up towards the north side. Only the 5 villagers out here. I do like this coming through from Corvinus. Tries his best to get inside the outpost. 4 of them going to survive. Not a bad little effort from him right there. Let's check back in with our Japanese player and see how Garneth is now doing. And you can see that he's beginning to move out here. He's picked up that level 2 on the wheelbarrow, which increases his berry gather rate from 25% bonus to 50% bonus. So that is really nice to have. Now we can see a little bit of a rally point coming in on the back here. He's trying to find a way through to spot out any villagers. Speaking of villagers, though, it looks like we might have ourselves another raid coming in on the south side of the Japanese base. Garneth trying his best to hold on. Let's keep an eye out for that raid, though, on the other side of the map. And you can see just how much pressure Corvinus is putting on early on in this game, just sticking on the one base. That's key to remember. He's only on the one base, and there's that attack coming through. Successful little strike for him. Remember that if you take down these farms, it's really not like you're losing anything as the Japanese. I mean, you're still losing farms, and you're losing that gold generation, but it doesn't feel that bad to lose that, to be honest. But it looks like pretty decent damage was done here by Garneth. Managed to kill, I think it was about 3 villagers. So 1, 2, I see. I don't see the third body, but I see a lot of dead vills. That's what's important. But speaking of dead vills, they continue to go down right now. Garneth's got the nice lead for himself, and he's continued to add in more and more villagers onto the farms. You can see him starting to... Oh my god, she's already level 3. Oh, I hate this so much, dude. Oh gosh, this is so annoying. All right, she comes into the base. Now she's got the men-at-arms as well. These are veteran men-at-arms or castle-age men-at-arms. Keep that in mind. They get +1 when they're near Joan. And now she also takes 50% less damage, and she's a knight. It's just like, it's such a terrible... Oh my god, that damage is so dumb. Gosh, she's got the heal as well that she can always throw down. It's on cooldown, though, for the moment. How do you guys feel about Joan? Would you like to see her nerfed? Are you happy with her balance? Does she feel fine? Are you on a Onabagashia doing their dancing, though? That's not looking terrible. But slowly and steadily, Joan might be caught out of position here. This isn't the best. I think he's hunting for villagers. Is that what he's looking for? It could be the case. But he needs to try and get Joan out alive because it is starting to be expensive if you lose it. Once you're at level 3, it's going to cost you 500 gold to get her back onto the field. And you can see a very solid surround attempt about to come through. Garneth looking to try and find a way. It's so damn close. Back towards the base. 3 battering rams. 4th battering ram on the way as well. And now the surround comes in. He gets her. He finally locks her up and says, you know what? This is how we deal. This is how we deal with Joan of Arc. We don't need no stakes. We don't need no fire around here. We got all the damage that we need. But you can hear, was that an immediate buyback? That's an immediate buyback from Corvinus now. Getting Joan back on the field. Onabagashia moving forward. Not going to be able to take out that battering ram. 51 health out of the 420 remaining. Now the spear numbers are starting to build. Cavalry also quite present, but there's so many spears here. I'm fearful about Garneth taking this fight. It looks a little bit, how's your father? But the numbers aren't terrible, honestly. This is surprising. He's got a lot of extra damage on these units. More spears going to be coming up in the back. I'm surprised that he was able to do that much damage. I think it was the Onaba Geisha, though. The Onaba Geisha just do ludicrous amounts of damage. You know, when they've got their +2, if you get the Bannerman there as well. It's kind of wild, but solid defense so far from Garneth. He's lost 12 villagers this game, but it definitely feels like he's still ahead. The main issue that he's going to have is just zone. That's going to be the main problem, because this pressure, look at the amount of rams that we're up to. 4 rams here, 6 rams now totaling out for Corvinus. This is just, it's getting a bit scary. It's getting a bit scary. Let's check in with him and see how he's doing, though. At the moment, when it comes to the villager count, 40 against 56, so almost 50% ahead. Not too bad for Garneth on the Japanese. Definitely playing out that 2 TC versus 1 TC as strong as you can. It's important to note that when it comes to that dynamic, the advantage is definitely in the favor early on with the 1 TC. But we seem to have ridden that out now. And the advantage seems to be... I mean, you could definitely say it's still there, because Corvinus put on quite a bit of pressure early on. But we've seen now that Garneth is still having trouble defending. That's the issue. Joan now going to come in. She's got her summons available shortly. Another 60 seconds. Onaba Geisha coming through, trying to get a little bit of blocks in. At the same time on the backside, the archer numbers looking solid, trying to tee off towards the Onaba Geisha, but the horsemen nowhere to be seen. They're just kind of chilling on the front line. Needs to run them around to the back and deal with these archers the correct way. We can still see Joan just soaking up the damage, 175 health. She continues to get off those big AoE Holy Wraths. And just sitting underneath the town center, she's going to tank up so much. And there's the big heal coming in. You got to smile. If you don't smile, you're just going to cry when you're fighting that. That is so damn tough to be up against. But now the villagers have risen. The battering ram numbers are superior, though. I think this town center will be going down. This is the main town center, though, so it doesn't feel as bad losing this. I guess the other issue is that you've got the Kura storehouse right here, so he could just look to take you out in the feudal age with the landmarks. That's always something you've got to be aware of. And now Joan hunting. You can see the Holy Wraith. She's thinking about it. Doesn't have access to it just yet. Still on cooldown for a little bit. Well, not on cooldown, but still on charge for a little bit. Now the battering rams. Where do they turn their attention? Looks like for the moment it's just going to be farms. Town center still kind of just haven't actually been tasked to the next landmark. A little bit of a mistake here from Corvinus, but I don't know if he's going to be able to take her out, though. That's the only thing. Because, realistically, I don't think he's got the numbers. So a nice hold here from Garneth. Does lose that main town center, but it'll be a slow repair to get it back online. Oh my god, doesn't that feel good? That feels so good. And she's brought back immediately. Oh, dude, that kind of hurts. You know, maybe they should make it so that there's a cooldown after she dies to be able to buy back. I don't know. How do you guys feel about the Joan mechanic? Like, definitely for me, she's overpowered at the moment. There's no two ways about it. She is way too strong. But the question is, how do you go about balancing her? Because there's a lot of different routes that you could take. Like, you could delay her level 3, which is objectively where her largest power spike comes from, right? Level 3 is insane because she's got access to, where is it? There's something in there, the extra 50%. But now Joan running through. Look at this. Just Corvinus ignoring the opponent's army and just being like, yeah, I'm just going to go kill some vills. Don't mind me. See you guys later. Runs towards the town center. Just knows exactly what's going on. And you can see those villagers trying their best to escape. They've got nowhere to garrison, so he's going to come through, start working them down. Textiles has come through, so it means a little bit more damage will be required to kill these villagers. But now over on the eastern front, the Onaba Geisha slowly overwhelming the Jeanne d'Arc forces. All right. Speaking of Jeanne d'Arc, though, not doing too bad here. She does have access to the heal in 45 seconds. I think she's just going to be able to... Maybe you could reduce the speed that she runs. Like, she runs at 1.62 movement speed. I don't know. Maybe make it like 1.5 or something. Maybe that could be a reasonable approach. Because at the moment, she's just soloing the entire enemy army, right? Like, and she just runs around with impunity. And I think that's the part that gets me. Wow. Okay, I didn't know that we had... Is that allowed? Is that allowed? I thought they banned that. It's 2023. It kind of sounded like the... Sorry. Anyway, let's move on. We got ourselves a little bit of a counterattack over on that west side. Just a knight trying to deny this town center. Town center is up. It's online. Daimyo Minor is back in business. But have a look at this. Onaba Geisha just spinning like crazy. But speaking of spinning right there, Jeanne d'Arc doing a little bit of a spin in herself. Wonderful counter-attack here, and there's the age up coming through now from Corvinus at the 20-minute mark. Garneth really looking to try and commit to playing it out in feudal, doing the right thing here. We're going to switch it over to income so that you guys can get a bit of an idea on where these guys are at. You can see Joan still surviving right now. And remember, she can garrison in the town center as well. So there's really, yeah, it's just, this is a performance. I'll say that much. This is like a Khan on steroids. It kind of drives me wild. All right, so with the age up coming through on the back, that's going to get scouted by the Honor Geisha. Is he going to cancel? He might need to cancel that Royal Institute. I don't think there's any way this is going to be coming up. She's got access to the spin in a little bit. Surround comes through. Never mind, the spin's not going to matter. It looks like Joan might get caught out of position. Oh, she's so close. One hit away. One hit. Thank you. Thank you. Instant buyback. Instant buyback. Not enough resources, at least not for the moment. Villagers getting mauled. More and more Honor Geisha running through together with the Horsemen. I'm loving this composition coming through from Garneth. Honor Geisha and Horsemen just overwhelming his opponent. Joan now returns to the battlefield. She's back. That cooldown definitely needs to be increased. That is, that's kind of ridiculous. You've just got this superb hero unit that just... What was that? Oh, she was consecrating somewhere. Something. This is consecrated. I think everything's consecrated at this point. Almost everything. Age up now comes through. So with the Castle Age online, Joan's power doesn't really change. The main thing is just that her experience level is just going to keep growing, right? So I don't think there's any kind of modifier on which age you're in as to how much experience you get. I think it's just static amounts through the units that are killed and time. But at this stage, it's looking a little bit concerning. All that she's got left are those 3 champions, 3 men-at-arms in queue, and the actual Joan against 40 units on the battlefield right now. Corvinus trying his best to defend in this position. Up towards the north, more Honor Brigadier are coming out. And Garneth just playing exactly how I think you can play the Japanese. Playing it in the feudal age. It just makes so much sense to me to be playing it in the feudal age. As long as you're finding these key upgrades, I think that's the most important thing. So in this position, looking to go from the Daimyo Manor to the Daimyo Palace, I think is really important for Garneth. Because we're 22 minutes in, he's got a lot of farms. If you upgrade that, you're talking about a huge proportion of the economy that's going to be impacted on that. So you definitely want to be looking to do that. And then just spamming out units. This is exactly the right call. Looking to try and take control of the map. And that's exactly what he's doing. So he's playing a great game here. The one thing that he's got, or that he's up against though, is Joan. And the question's going to be, how do you deal with this? Because it's only a matter of time until she gets to level 4. And she's been level 3 for a while. We've seen her level 3 for like 10 minutes here. So if she gets level 4, there's going to be more men-at-arms that come out. There's going to be a cannon potentially that arrives. It's not going to be pretty. Ordnance Company now coming through. Looking to buff up absolutely everything that you can with these. And you can see that the siege is quite strong through for Garneth here. Men-at-arms is going to come out. Nice little AoE attack. The heal comes through as well. And Joan holding on for dear life. 15 villagers down. The military number is really what matters right now. 1/10 towards that top side. Villagers going to be looking to defend. They don't have their textiles upgrade, so it's going to make it a tough fight for them. Joan once again falling back. And you can see the spam coming out from Japanese in the feudal ages starting to look really, really good. Garneth up to 2,300 food per minute. 2,400 food per minute. This, you know, we're talking about balance. Immediate buyback from Joan. Talking about balance, though. How's that for balanced? You know, that's... We're all overpowered in our own way, aren't we? Joan returns to the battlefield. Just getting that little bit of... That trickle of XP. Trying to lead away the enemy units. Plenty of numbers out here for her opponent. The question for me is just how is she going to get back on board? The Honor Brigadier are just so good at dealing with any sort of unit. That's the great thing about them. They're flexible. They attack quickly. The men-at-arms have got 5 armor. The Honor Geisha have got 8 attack, which means they're only doing 3 damage. But because they attack every 0.9 of a second, it means that they're just able to shred through them. Because all of a sudden, you know, there's how many have you got here, Honor Brigadier? You've got 11. So you're doing 33 damage every single hit. So less than 4 seconds, and that's going to be it. Joan running through. Villagers. Oh, no. Oh, this could be huge. Villager's going to be making a run for it. She's got the melee. She's got the spin to win. If she looks for it, she'll need to get in close for it. Meanwhile, back towards the main base, it's going to be the town center of Joan that is going down. Temple of Equality coming through. Excuse me? Do you know what landmark you're building there, sir? Garneth going with the Temple of Equality. A landmark we've never seen before with the Japanese. A landmark that's underused, mainly because the other one's so damn good, and it's really easy to use. Vils jumping in and out of the town center. He's trying to keep it alive. 220 wood in the bank, but that's going to be it. The town center's going to go down. Vils popping out. Men-at-arm numbers have begun to build. Where's Joan? She's on the back, up against a couple of Ayyubids. She needs to come in right now. Corvinus's landmark has gone down. The second one, down to the south. The third one, just below it. Things could start to get really bad here. And the age up comes through. Nice little AoE attack. Let's take a look at this landmark. The Temple of Equality. Reduces the cost of your Buddhist monks by 33%. Weakens enemy damage by 50%. And provides 20% damage to nearby friendly units when casting conversion. Joan trying once again to get that AoE off. You can definitely tell that Corvinus is 100% playing into this, like, the hero unit. Can I just play with Joan only and win? Can she solo an entire game? And I think we've got our answer. Yes, just not this one. It has been incredible watching her throughout this game and just how well she's been controlled by Corvinus. So credit goes to him. But unfortunately, at this point, Garneth feels pretty far ahead. More men-at-arms coming out. You can see just how quickly they get destroyed. Looks like they got a torch to the face as well. Poor little men-at-arms. And Joan now comes through. She's going to go down with no town center. Means no option to buy Joan back. And with no option to buy Joan back, is that going to be game? 26 minutes into this one. It damn well is. There it goes. When Joan falls, Corvinus falls. Fellas, make sure you go and check out these two players. I'll leave a link in the description over to Corvinus on Twitch. I don't know if Garneth streams, but if he does, I'll try and find his Twitch. I'll leave a link for that as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this casted game. Jeez, that Japanese economy, man. That's something to talk about. That is for sure.